Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Can we talk about something different about me's?
Oh yeah! Oh goddamn, guys! Anyone notice?
If you're watching,
yeah,
on YouTube, then you may notice a little bit of a change in the appearance of moi.
What is it, Rose? I don't know what it is.
I don't know, Daniel. It's very obvious.
Is it?
I've changed my hair color.
It be red.
What color is it?
Red as hell.
It's your favorite color.
I know, I always tell Rose, I'm like, I love the red hair. I don't know why. It just like suits you so well. It does.
Are you saying the other colors don't suit me well?
No, I grew to like them, but it took me a little bit longer to get used to, you know?
Oh, god damn. So are you liking the red?
I love the red,
god
Rose.
damn.
You be the bitch with the red hair.
I be the bitch with the red hair. That's an inside joke for those of you that are wondering. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube and you're just listening, well, go over to our YouTube channel and watch.
Yeah. And check out Rose's brat red hair.
Check out my hair. It's already also a lot shorter.
It is,
because
yeah.
I had to chop it all off because it was very, very damaged. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not born with blonde hair where I can just color it. I have to I have to lighten it first. But I have red hair.
Interesting.
Anyway.
That was great. Thanks for sharing that with us. No,
well, I thought I would since, you have to mention it, Daniel. This is
true.
Part of being a social media sensation, okay?
Damn, okay?
Something that you wouldn't know anything about.
Oh, god damn. Thanks for that, Rose. Anyway, moving on.
Don't be trying to burn me.
Oh, god damn.
You know what gonna happen?
I'm going to get burned. I actually have quite a funny story, though.
What story?
Well, it's not funny. Well, it is funny.
It's like you do it on purpose.
I kind of did that one on purpose. No, so the other night I was like kind of bored at home and I was like, oh, I'm just going to watch like some random Netflix shows or whatever. And I happened to like go through and that show, and everyone kind of was talking about it. It was called Pandemic. Like it was like a short clip. It was like a 20-minute like.
Oh, is it like explained?
Yeah.
Like explained. The documentary style show. Uh-huh.
And I was watching it and it was just not funny, but like unique watching that while we've already been through what we've been through, right?
What, you mean the one where it like came out right before the pandemic started?
Yeah, it was like just
right.
it was like 2019 it came out.
Right. It was like the one where Bill Gates was like, there's going to be a pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were talking about, what's going to wipe out the world? And they're like, honestly, what would cause the most devastation and deaths and everything else? And we've seen it happen in the past. They're like, there's going to be another pandemic. And look what happened.
I know. And it was like literally months after that was like released.
This is why there was kind of those conspiracy theories about Bill Gates, though, because they were like,
so fucking
how
stupid.
did he know?
Because it's not, I feel like it's not rocket science because he's so smart and he reads a lot of things. And again, I'm not saying Bill Gates is great or whatever, but like, come on.
The signs were there, people.
Yeah.
And one of the things I also liked in the documentary or the little explained or whatever it was, they talked about obviously factory farming and stuff. And they're like, look,
Did they?
Yeah. They're like, you're keeping animals in like small, spaces, which is just a festering space for disease and virus. And actually the more crossover that people have with animals, the more likely those viruses are to jump.
Right.
So, and I think they talked about like, it's crazy what viruses can do. So apparently like back in the day, the first like zoonotic virus was like a mixture of like a human virus and like a bird virus that mixed in like a pig and then became like another virus. And it was like, and then that virus was like not bird flu, but something that like,
my green hair. There's a piece of my green hair left.
Right on the microphone. But yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's crazy. I don't even understand. They have a life of their own, basically.
Yeah, they're very like crazy organisms, I guess, if you can even call them an organism, because they can't survive on their own. They need to like be in a host. Yeah. And that's their whole life. And then it's crazy. And then they constantly are mutating, right?
I know.
God damn, be scary.
Are some of them good?
Some viruses.
Are there good viruses?
I don't know.
You know how there's like good bacteria and bad bacteria?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know shit.
I have no idea about that one.
I did not like science class.
Oh god damn. I actually liked science class, surprisingly.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was originally like in high school.
Didn't you take biology at first?
Yes.
In university?
So my whole plan, like, because I loved biology in high school, and I was like, oh, this is like really fun. And I feel like maybe it's different now, but I don't feel like they didn't like prepare us enough for university and like really help us decide like what courses we wanted to take and stuff. So I kind of just like went with, oh my God,
totally though.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I was like, I like bio. I'm going to go into bioscience and I'm going to become a doctor or something. You know, this is like my whole like plan. So I like I was registered, got accepted into the bio program, went to my first like seminar, if you can call it that or whatever, where they like introduce like people and stuff. And there's like probably 400 of us in this room. And the guy was like, welcome to bioscience, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, how many of you guys want to become a doctors? And like so many people like put up their hand.
Like majority?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then he's like, everybody in the room except for these two people at the front here, put your hand down. He's like, that's how many people here are getting into med school.
And getting into med school, not even becoming a doctor.
Exactly. Not even necessarily graduating, just getting in. Yeah.
That is hilarious.
I know. So at that point I was like, well, not that I didn't think that maybe I could be one of those two people,
right.
but
of course.
At the same time I was kind of like, oh, and then the more I took bio in uni, I was just like, hey, this is not for me. Like,
yeah, totally.
It's just not for, like, it was a lot of like labs and I was just like, no. So then
I love that the prof just like straight up said it.
And I think I feel like that's what they need to like reiterate in high school more. Just be like, that's okay, like
you get coddled a little bit in high school and then you just get thrown into university.
Yeah.
And also you're totally right where they like don't really give you any direction in terms of, okay, these are the faculties that are like, doing this and this.
Yeah.
Like I'm like kind of similar. Like I went into nursing and I was like, I literally was just like, I'm smart enough for nursing.
Yeah.
Because at that time, nursing and engineering was like the highest percentage. You had to have like a certain average.
Yeah.
And that was like the highest one out of all the faculties. And I was like, I can get into it. Was like such an ego thing.
Yeah,
I was like, I can get into nursing. I'm going to go into nursing. And then I didn't realize like what all of that entailed. I don't know why I did it. I just like didn't think about it. I was like, nursing. It must be like, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay.
But that's why I think there's a couple of things that they need to do. Like, and I don't know if they're doing this now, but like, they should kind of help you to navigate the different faculties before you even like do anything. There should be like a course or something. And also they should talk about the job prospects and like, what are your potential, like, if you will, obviously with nursing, I mean, you become a nurse, but there's all different kinds of nurses,
right?
All this kind of stuff. Or like, if you go into bioscience, what are different career options?
Yeah.
But, or like, because then so many people, you turn 18, you finish high school and you just kind of like go into whatever. Some people are like, I'm going to go into Greek and Roman studies. I'm going to go into this. I'm not saying any of those degrees are bad, but like without any kind of any thoughts as to where that's going to lead them in a career.
I know.
So I think, and I think there's something to be said about even just taking a year off after high school.
Yeah.
Just to kind of like figure that shit out. And then I wish that I did that.
Didn't you?
I ended up taking a break after.
Oh, right.
So I took a break because I did bioscience for a year, but then I transferred to business. And then before I did that, I took a year.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of people do take that leap year or whatever they call it. Is it gap year or leap year?
Gap year, yeah.
What's leap year? What the hell was that?
Leap year is like every 4 years.
Oh, that's like when people are born in like February?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every 4
gap
years.
year, I meant gap year.
Yeah.
I was like, I said leap year and then it just didn't sound right.
Do you know what a leap year is though, Rose?
It's like a year. Yes. Like what? Didn't we just explain it?
Well, what exactly is it though, Rose?
It's like when you're born on like what do you call it? The 29th of February or something? Is that the leap year? Do you even know what a leap year is?
Yes, that's the leap year.
Yeah, so when you're born on the 29th, so then what happens to those people that are born on February 29th?
Well,
that's the leap year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because then in the rest of the years, it's just 28 days, right? In February.
Why? That's so fucking stupid. Who made this up?
I think it has something to do.
Is it science?
I think it has something to do with the fact that like, how we like have to change spring and fall. We have to change the time zones because of the sun and stuff. It's not basically the calendar and the time is not like a perfect thing.
Of course.
And that's why it has to get adjusted. And I think that's what the leap year does. It like adjusts the calendar or something. I don't know exactly, guys.
So confusing.
Yeah, there's a reason behind it. And
I feel like we humans like to complicate things for no reason. I'm sure there's a reason.
I think there is definitely a reason because I think,
but I'm sure there's a work around it.
There must be. We would think by now we would have some.
So then, if you're born on the 29th, then like, do you not get birthdays, or do you celebrate on the 28th?
You would just celebrate on the 28th.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess so.
All of you guys that are born on, is it February 29th or it is, isn't
it?
Yeah.
29th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, wow, that was a, introduction and a half.
It was an introduction, if you call it.
Do we have any new patrons?
We do.
We do, Daniels.
All right, guys.
We're going to start with the Patreon shout outs, our new patrons this month.
Yes. So we are giving thanks to Katie.
L Bell. I love it. Wait, L Bell? Love it.
Julia.
And Jody.
And just a reminder, guys, feel free to check out our Patreon. We have all kinds of cool stuff over there for you. We did a very fun exclusive episode this month. And every single month, there is a Patreon exclusive episode. And what else, Rose?
And you get the episodes a week earlier than everybody else, and they are ad-free.
Yeah.
So join us over there. We are a growing Patreon family.
We sure are,
yeah.
Check it out, guys. Patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast.
Anyways, okay, so let's dive into the stories. Ooh, okay. We're starting with the juicy one.
We are. And this story is kind of linked to the next story, which is kind of linked to a topic I wanted to discuss.
God damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be some controversial things. So first of all, guys, obviously last Sunday, I don't think did we talk about the Euro Championship?
No, because neither of us follow sports.
Exactly. As you know, me and Rose are not very big sports followers or sports fans. However, there was a lot of stuff going on last weekend when England made the finals for the Euro Soccer Cup or Football Cup.
We're so bad at
this. I know. I'm like, I don't even know if we should talk about this, but no, we need to.
Let's just talk about, it's not actually about sports we're going to talk about. Because
but I want to just kind of set the scene.
Of course, sure. I'm sure everyone else listening knows better than we do, apparently.
That's very true. But anyway, England made it to the finals against Italy. They made it for the first time in 50 years or something. Right. So it's like a big thing for the UK. Mm-hmm. Huge soccer fans there. Everyone took to the streets and was like partying, and they were talking about wanting to get Monday off if England won
right.
Because everyone was just getting crazy. So what happened, I guess, is that basically 3 black players on the team, I guess they were involved in the shootout, which is the very thing that happened at the end. I guess they were tied. I don't really know that much, but anyway.
Let's just read this part.
Okay.
England's highest profile soccer organizations are now urging consequence. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So basically, England lost to Italy.
Yeah.
3-2 on penalty kicks. Yeah. And then the 3 players that were chosen to do the penalty kicks happened to be black players.
Thank you.
Yeah. There we go.
So basically, the abuse was aimed at these 3 particular players who missed their penalty kicks, as Rose had mentioned. And I guess people took to social media. They were just being really, really nasty, to the point where the UK Prime Minister was he also tweeted. Not that I'm a big fan of Boris Johnson anyway, but he was that just basically mentioning the team made it to second place. You know what I mean? They still did amazing this year.
Yeah.
And it's a team effort. It's not those 3 individuals that are responsible for the entire loss of this game, right? And you can't be so what am I trying to say? You can't
But it doesn't matter if it was their fault. The racist stuff is so it's irrelevant.
Exactly.
It's so I'm kind of surprised but not surprised.
I know.
In the words of Daniel.
Surprised but not surprised.
But you know what I mean? Where it's kind of on one hand, I'm surprised because there are lots of black people in England. There really are.
There is, yeah.
And maybe we're in a London bubble though.
I think we are.
Right.
I think it's a London bubble.
Okay, so maybe outside of London, because we both lived in London.
Yeah.
So in London, there's tons of black people.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't think that England was super racist against black people, maybe against Asians. I don't know. But so I just never thought about it that way. But then it's also not that surprising because
Well, I think also too, the thing that gets me about football, and especially football in the UK, their fans across the world are renowned for being hooligans, for being extra crazy. They have a team there for Manchester United that gets really, really crazy.
True.
And they've been known for doing horrible stuff. Obviously, racist.
You mean British football / soccer fans?
Yes.
Okay.
Getting
specifically British.
Exactly. Because everyone's obviously heavily drinking, doing all this stuff. Not that this is an excuse.
Yeah.
And they just have really, really bad behavior, to the point where I think some places have banned certain fans of
Really?
Yeah. I think it's
because they might fight and stuff. Because
exactly.
there's Manchester and there's whatever other,
Exactly. So it's just really, it's just really bad.
It's just so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I saw that there were so many comments like that too. Like it wasn't just like a few, you know, comments of racism, but it was like a lot. Like people like putting monkey emojis and shit. Like what the fuck?
Guys, we are in the 21st century now. Like why is this still a thing?
I know, it's crazy.
I just don't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I don't understand. I mean, we'll never understand that sentiment.
Exactly. Maybe I would understand more if it wasn't like a racist attack, but more like, oh, you let us down a bit. You know what I mean? Like maybe that kind of sentiment. Even still, it's not their fault for losing the game.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, I would get that more than like, you know.
Yeah. God, sports fans get crazy.
Oh, honestly, some sports are like, and this is the thing that sucks. Like, because I'm not a big sports fan or a big sports person.
I think we've basically made ourselves clear with that one.
We have established that, guys. But I do enjoy, like, I've been to some games before and the atmosphere is fun and like having a few drinks and like going to like a hockey game, for example. I've been to a couple hockey games here. And it is actually a really fun environment. And I think the people that get so wrapped up into it and so aggressive to the point that they're like fighting other fans and like just being obnoxious, it just takes away from the whole experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like those people should like be banned from like games.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they should be like, you can't come here anymore. You know?
God. But there's so many of them.
Yeah. And I don't, you know what I don't
People get so intense about this shit. I'm like, okay, are you like is this normal?
But and you know what I don't get too is I'm like, these people, they're not physically playing the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're not playing the game.
You're
like,
not like you had nothing to do with this team. By the way, I'm sorry. Like I know you're cheering them on, but this has nothing to do with you. Like you are not part of this. Like you're part of it in a sense that you're just watching.
You're a spectator.
Exactly.
And nothing you say or do is going to really impact the result of the game.
Exactly.
So you can get as angry or as happy or as, you know, as you want. It's not going to change what's going to happen.
And like the people that are writing the fucking racist shit, I'm like, I would like to see you play this goddamn soccer game.
We should call them out and say, hey guys, why don't we rewind? You do the shootout. Yeah. Let's see how well you do.
It's just crazy. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like fangirls, but like so much more testosterone.
Yeah, that's that's why the term, like there's actually a term out there called football hooligans.
Oh, really?
Because of how bad the like I think it's called football hooligans, or
is it like for British people specific? But like I feel like football fans from like around the world are a little crazy.
They are. Yeah.
Against soccer for North American peeps.
That's true. Yeah. Like I know in like in Spain.
Oh, in Italy too. It's crazy.
Portugal, people get like so intense, but I don't know if it has the same like aggressiveness. I mean, it has like a bit of it, but I feel like the UK is like renowned. Their fans are renowned.
UK,
for being
like no offense to the UK people, we love you.
Yeah.
But UK is kind of known to be a little, some people, a little known to be a little trashy sometimes.
Little rough and ready.
Little rough. There is a reputation, you know, in Europe especially, like British people have a certain reputation.
British tourists,
it's kind of like American tourists, but like in Europe.
Yeah. It's funny because like, I guess especially for people that haven't been to the UK and like, you know, other Canadians or whatever else, they'll have this like idea of what the UK is, like this very rich, very prosperous, royal country with a queen and, you know, all this stuff. And then when you get there, the reality is so different. Yeah. And I think that like, and don't get me wrong, I loved living there. I had a great experience for the most part. And like, there's some really beautiful parts of the UK, don't get me wrong, but there's also a lot of really rough areas and some really, you know, impoverished and all kinds of stuff. So, and I think that, you know, it was a surprise, I think, for a lot of people to see that when they go there.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It ain't as posh as you see on television.
Exactly. It definitely is.
It ain't The Crown, okay?
Oh, God damn. It is not The Crown. God
but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's kind of like.
So what happened? Are they still on the team? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they're still, I mean, I think they're still, I don't know exactly, again, I don't know how this works, but like, I think that the teams form for each country. It's kind of like the Olympics, you know? They're all from different teams.
Yeah.
They come together to form like
a
UK
it's all very
team.
weird. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because like you get random people, like for example, there's like some Korean players that like go to the UK and they like join like a UK team. Yeah. That kind of shit. And I'm like, I don't understand.
So that's actually a perfect example. So then, okay, they'll join a UK team. Like let's say you'll have some Korean players play on Manchester United. Sure. But if there was a soccer tournament and it was Korea was in it, they could like pull those two players and have them as like a Korean team, right? Versus like a UK team. Okay, I think that's how it works because I remember like for hockey, right? For example, like our Canadian hockey team had like Canadians from like various American teams, but they were like Canadian players, so they represented Canada in like the Olympics as the Canadian team.
Okay.
So I don't know. Anyway, it's complicated. Sports guys, I don't know. I need to start seeing someone or dating someone that like is into sports so they can like teach me some shit about sports.
For sure.
And educate my uneducated ass when it comes to sports.
So
so that links into the next story, which I think is kind of an interesting one. So basically, very famous. Is he an actor? He's an actor, right?
I don't know who this is.
Idris Elba?
He looks kind of familiar.
No, he's definitely an actor.
Yeah. He looks like an actor.
Yeah, he is. So basically, as part of everything that's been going on with this like racism on social media with against these particular players, Idris Elba has like kind of come forward and he's posed this, which I think is an interesting concept.
Okay.
And he's basically said that social media platforms, the way like Instagram, Twitter, all of these social media platforms is they should actually verify all users to help curb racist abuse, and not just racist abuse, like more like, you have internet trolls, you have all of this stuff. Yeah. Whereas I guess the idea is if you had to like verify and get a blue tick, for example,
sure,
it would be harder, or you wouldn't be able to hide so much,
right? Because your identity is tied to the account.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So he was just saying, people in the public eye get verified on social media. The process of verification requires them to, prove their identity, so everyone knows who's speaking. Mm-hmm. Social media companies should make this mandatory for all users. Currently, social media is like boarding a plane and not having to show ID. That would never happen. If cowards are being supported by a veil of privacy and secrecy, then social media is not a safe place. So
what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I do feel like if individuals had to get verified, like they just have to verify who they are, then that their account is who they, say they are, then, they can't as easily hide, and they can't, if they troll someone's account, they know who is speaking to them. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, that for sure, like it will have that consequence. I think the problem lies in, number one, like if all these like big social media platforms started verifying every account, there's going to be other websites and platforms that aren't going to. Like this isn't a mandatory thing, right? I mean, unless that's what they're going to make it. And then that becomes a little bit of a privacy issue as well.
And also data as well.
Exactly.
Data protection.
So like it sounds like a good idea, and I understand he's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the internet is a fucked up place. And I wish it could be a safe place, but trying to make it a safe space is, I feel like it's only going to create potential more dangerous places. Like there's like the dark web and shit. Like there's
very much the dark web,
So that's going to probably maybe get people to go into those more darker places, which is probably more dangerous, because then that's going to potentially create more, radical thought,
extremist behavior. But I do think, like, don't you think though, like on major websites, like I get there's like a two sides to this, right? So I think, let's just use Instagram for example. If everybody had to verify themselves on Instagram via some form of ID or whatever, I don't know the whole verification process. I don't have a blue tick, so I don't know.
I don't even have a blue tick.
Oh, God damn.
What it take to get a blue tick?
You got to speak to someone for that verification. Because it used to be a big thing. Like if someone had a blue tick, you're like, ooh.
It still is a big thing. Yeah, it's like a big deal.
Yeah, because you're like,
I want a blue tick. Anyone from Instagram want to give me a blue tick?
It's like a status kind of thing, right? It's like, oh, they're definitely a celebrity.
Yeah, it's like a big deal. You know? You're like a public figure. Exactly.
And I think to myself, I'm like, if everybody did have to go through that process, like, just using Instagram for an example, it's like, again, we mentioned that it would stop that like trolling behavior, or well, it wouldn't stop it, but it would mean that, there's be more consequences to those actions and stuff. People can't hide. But also on the flip side, you also have that kind of data protection, data privacy. And it's like, well, if we have to start giving our ID to social media companies, who are they selling that information to?
That's the thing.
Yeah. Like, because they do say, like, for example, nothing in life is free. And actually, what was that documentary? Did you see that one? Where it was like all about social media, and they were saying
Social Dilemma.
Yes, I think that was it.
Yeah,
and they were saying, like, basically these apps are free because they're using our data.
Exactly, they're not free. Basically.
They're not free.
You are the product.
Exactly, we are the product.
Yes.
So essentially, if we start having to provide them with more data, then it's like, okay, well, what the hell are they doing with it?
Exactly. So I don't know. It sounds like a good idea, but I think if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, it's like, it's not good.
God damn. Do you think there's some kind of solution to stopping these goddamn trolls from be trolling?
I mean, okay, I think the solution is, I don't know what the solution is. Like, turn off the comments. Like,
I guess.
Yeah, like, look, listen, I feel for those guys. Like, I have, like, of course I have sympathy. And of course I don't want all these racist comments, but like, unfortunately there's shitty people, right? Like everywhere.
You're going to get it all the time.
It's like, it's just unfortunate. Like, and like, I don't know if there's a way to stop it other than education and getting people to understand, getting people more tolerant.
Yeah.
But it's basically like bullying, but online.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe turning off comments would be, you know, a potential solution. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if there's a way of like stopping it. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if there was like maybe if there could be some kind of verification where they don't get to keep your data, where you like verify and then
like a third-party security system.
Yeah, something like that.
Do we trust the third-party security system?
I mean,
what is their incentive?
I mean, you would think you would trust a security system provider, but we all know from that creepy incident where that man was like watching people from their home security tapes.
That's the thing. I don't trust anybody.
No one. What is wrong with the world?
It's not like the government can get involved because there's so like Instagram is a global thing, right? Yeah. There's no global government. I know. So it's just not feasible.
This is the biggest, well, not the biggest, but like one issue with all of this stuff that goes on now because of the web, because of like globalization and all of these companies and things like social media being all over the world. It's like, because we've created a society where we're governed by each country. Yeah. It becomes very, very complicated and complex is how we deal with these multinational corporations and also like, you know, social media platforms as well, right, that are all across the world. Because it's like, what do? Like, do you put specific, like...
I don't know. There's no solution.
Oh, God damn. Do we need to have a global government?
Well, you know, that's not possible.
I know.
We can't do anything globally.
Oh, God. It's a...
Oh, God.
That'd be a disaster as hell.
Yeah. I mean, again, it sounds very, you know...
It sounds good in practice.
It sounds good in theory, but not in practice.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think it's feasible. I mean, social media companies, first of all, probably won't do this because that's going to deter a lot of people from signing up.
Exactly.
And second of all, if they do this, then they're definitely going to sell your fucking data.
Oh, 100%. And also, do they even have the capacity to verify that many individuals?
That's the thing. Who's verifying?
Exactly. Because you have to think like...
There's fake IDs, people.
Well, this is it. Right there. And then you come into concept of, you're right, fake IDs, fake stuff. There's going to be ways that you can like fake verify yourself. Like, there's going to be people always find a way.
That's the thing. People always find a way.
Yeah. It's like, you know,
people are shit and they will find a way to continue to be shit.
Exactly. It's like you hear about like, you know, bank robbery scams and stuff. You had that in the past.
Right.
And then as things become digital, then you have new like digital scams.
Oh,
and it's like, they're always, and it's funny, but well, not funny, but it's like the government and like legislation and whatever is always playing this like catch up game with people, you know?
It's true. Because like there's like a new scam.
And then
until the government and police or whatever figure out the scam, those people are going to scam.
Exactly.
Right?
And then as soon as they figure that out, there's already a new scam going on.
God damn.
It's like, you know, I remember when I like got my first job and we had to do like the training on like money laundering and all kinds of stuff.
Oh shit. What was your first job?
It was at the bank.
That was your your first like big boy job.
Yeah, my big boy job.
I was like, you had to do that at like the grocery store?
No, definitely not. No. But it was just like interesting because it was like, they like showed us this video and like talked about like, you know, suspicious transactions and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, God, it can get so complex with like the way that people like launder money and like put money into like shell companies and offshore accounts. And it like blows my mind. I'm like, sometimes even the people doing it don't even know like the layers of it. And they're like, oh yeah, we can't even determine who owns this asset because there's so many fucking shell companies and shit. And I was like, God damn.
It kind of reminds me of like, what is the, you know, Narcos? What is the guy? What's his name?
Is it Pablo Escobar?
Yes, no. Pablo Escobar. Yeah. So I remember like one of the things that I found out, because I don't know anything about the drug trade. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things I really don't. One of the things but I learned a lot from watching Narcos.
Yeah.
And one of the things they said was like, his money is like buried like everywhere, to the point where they like don't even know where like most of it is. And I guarantee you he probably doesn't even know where half his money is.
Probably not.
He died, but like he probably didn't know where like most of his money was.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like, why do you keep doing this when you like, how do you have so much money that you don't even know where it is?
Yeah.
You don't keep track of it because it's so much.
Yeah.
But you keep doing this illegal activity.
He's addicted.
Like, it's insane to me.
It becomes a different kind of addiction to
it becomes
power.
like a power thing.
Yeah, and feeling important and all of that kind of stuff. And then you feed into that. And if you become like this like legend, because he still isn't, but back in the day, you kind of feed into that, and that builds your ego, and it drives you.
Oh God, ego, man.
I know, it's just crazy. I just didn't realize like the complexity of how like criminals can do things.
I know.
Like I remember do you remember Breaking Bad when they like bought the like car wash and they were like laundering money through the car wash? Like there's just so much stuff, and I'm just like, oh my God, like fuck.
I know. Nowadays, I'm like looking at different businesses. I'm like, I feel like this is a money laundering business.
I know some of them where you're like, there's some by my house, actually by my parents' house, where it's like, I've literally never seen a customer in that business for 25 years. Every single time I go past there, I've never bought anything from there. I'm like, how the fuck is it still open? Literally never. Like
literally though.
It's like crazy. It blows my mind. So I don't know. It's just wild, the things
it is wild.
It'd be wild as hell.
I mean, what are some of the comments under these? Are people agreeing with these? I mean, it fucking sucks. I can't even believe that Black people have to deal with this shit. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But also, I think a lot of Black people are not surprised, which is really sad.
It's sad. It really is. Like, this shouldn't have ever been a thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this should never.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're getting these kind of racist comments from so many people.
I know, that's crazy
the worst
to me.
Part.
I mean, to not play devil's advocate, maybe I don't know.
Are you, Rose?
To be I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, but my theory is that a lot of them are really young and stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some old people, but they're also stupid. But I think a lot of them might be very young, very dumb. You know, there's a lot of people like that, and that doesn't excuse it. Exactly. But that's kind of like, you know, that's probably the reality.
And also in some ways, like naive, but like what's the term, like, you know, they just ignorant they have no exposure. Like maybe they live in like a
middle of nowhere in Newcastle. Are there Black people in Newcastle?
Of course there is.
Are there?
Yeah, Newcastle's a pretty big city, so there's definitely people of color there, and in like a lot of the
Asians though. Hey,
not many.
The
most of the Asians that were in Newcastle were, I could stand corrected, but a lot of them were on there for university.
Yeah.
And that's where I met, like, most of my friends that I met on my course, they were from like Thailand and China and you know, all those places.
Yeah.
So
well, hopefully as people interact with more people of different colors, people can stop being so fucking racist.
It's so stupid.
Like, what the fuck?
So stupid. I hate it.
It sucks already that they lost, and I'm sure they already feel a certain amount of like guilt or shame or whatever they feel, you know, because you're a part of a team and you're playing.
Of course, you would feel like so bad, like you let the team down.
And then like to be flooded with those kinds of comments.
Oh my God. I know, like you would already feel, it would be like if we were competing together for something and we were at the finish line as between us and someone else, I was the final like thing, like maybe rock, paper, scissors game, or I don't even know what the hell we'd be competing for. And I lost. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm so sorry, you know? And then to have all of these people come out of nowhere to be like, oh, you know, just all this like,
I know, it's so crazy.
Grow the fuck up, people. Seriously,
no kidding.
Like you just need to stop. Like, what is wrong with humanity? God dang. So our next story,
is
Rose,
it tied to this?
It's not tied. So that was the linkages between those two.
Okay.
But it ends there.
Oh, I thought you said there was a third linkage.
Oh God damn, I meant only two linkages. I apologize.
Daniel. Can you report things properly, please?
Well, this one's kind of linked because it still has to do with sports.
Okay.
We got a lot of sports stories, guys.
Okay.
I think it's because it's like the Olympics going on.
There's a lot going on with sports.
Exactly. There's a lot. There was the European, obviously the Euro football final. That's okay.
Oh, so God damn.
Did you hear about this story?
Let's see. A women's handball team wore shorts instead of skimpy bikini bottom uniforms. The league fined them over $1,700. What?
Yeah.
That's first of all, can we just talk about these people's bodies? Holy mother of Christ.
I know.
They are like jacked and toned and fucking, they look so good.
Well, if you're competing on the European Handball Federation.
And they're also from Norway.
Exactly.
Norwegians are pretty hot.
I really want to go to Norway. I've never been to Norway. Or just like
Scandinavia in general. They're very good looking people.
Yeah. And I just feel like, those countries like have it figured out.
You? They totally do.
Yeah.
Have you been to any of those countries?
No.
Oh, you haven't been to any?
I haven't been to any Scandinavian countries.
I went to Sweden.
And?
It's very nice. I mean, it was like one of the first European, like, so when I got to Milan for my study abroad program, my first trip in the middle of February, my roommate at the time, Thais, we decided to just book a random flight anywhere in Europe. And of course we picked like one of the cheapest ones and it was to Stockholm. So we went in the middle of February. It was a bit cold.
Yeah. I was going to say it would be cold then.
But it was really nice. And I mean, people were, covered up. So I wasn't like checking people out.
You guys didn't go drinking?
I don't think we went crazy. No. But
That's
I think
surprising. You in Milan, when you were in Milan?
I mean, when I was in Milan, not when I was.
When you were traveling.
Oh, when I was in Sweden, I was very well behaved.
Oh.
And
that would be a first.
But I would like to go back in the summer.
Oh,
I do remember though, when I was studying abroad in Singapore, there was like a big group of like, I don't know if they were Swedish, but they're definitely from Scandinavia. I'm pretty sure they were Swedish. Yeah. There was a bunch of Swedish people and I would just be like, damn, they're all very like good looking. Yeah. They're like tall, and when they tan also, like even though they're white, they don't become like red. They get like golden tans.
I know.
I'm like, where do you get your jeans?
It's not fair. I remember so my story, I don't know if I told you this story when I was like backpacking. Did I tell you this one?
You mean the group of Swedish men?
Yes.
Yes, continue.
So basically like I had split up from my group because I went to go like learn Spanish for a little while, and then I was like in this like town, checked into the hostel by myself, and there was like it was like an 8-bed dorm. And I was like, oh, is there any room? She's like, you're lucky. There's only one bed left. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I get in there and there's like nobody in the room. I was like, oh, there's like literally no one in here. So I was like pretty tired. So I went to go have a nap. And then all of a sudden, I like a little bit later, I get like disturbed. Like all these people are coming into the room. And it was like all these like gorgeous Swedish guys.
Oh, God.
Just like changing and like getting into some
How did you deal?
I don't know. But they were actually, to be fair, they were like some of the nicest guys I met.
Right.
We actually all went out like club. We ended up spending like the week together and just like we're like partying.
You didn't fall in love with any of them?
Maybe a few of them, but they all be of the heterosexual variety, you know? But they were just such nice guys.
Too bad I wasn't there.
I know. Oh God. But like they were all really nice guys. And the thing that I like, and I don't know if it's just this group of Swedish guys or if Swedish people are just more open.
They're very open.
Yeah, like literally
just as a society.
Yeah. When I was like leaving and stuff, they all like instead of like just being like bye and stuff, they all like came, gave me a big hug and like, this very like.
Is that not normal?
Not always. Not all
people don't
like
give you hugs.
No, not always.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
It makes me sad. But
yeah. Anyway.
So we digress.
So Scandinavian people, you are beautiful. That is what we are going to say. Continue.
I think I want to move to Norway or Sweden.
God damn. I don't know. I think they're quite strict about immigration. They want to keep, the utopia the way it is. They don't want to dirty it with our fucking,
Exactly. So the goal now is while we're in Canada, we need to meet like a Norwegian or Swedish person here, and then they can take us there. Okay.
That's the goal now. Yeah. Now we've moved the goalpost a little bit. Now goal. Instead of just meeting, someone nice, it's like they have to be Scandinavian.
I mean, that's a high. There's a lot of Scandinavians here in Calgary,
There's certain countries. Are there actually?
No, I don't think so.
Do there's like a Denmark society. We should go have a drink there. There's like a Danish pub nearby. But also, now that we're talking about Scandinavia.
Yeah.
There's some kind of country in Scandinavia where people like they're trying to get more people in there. So they have like a program.
Really?
I don't know if it's Finland. I don't think it's Norway. I don't know. Maybe it's Finland.
We should look into this, Rose.
I mean, you can go.
Working holiday?
I mean, like I can't remember. I don't know where I heard this. I feel like I was listening to something where people were saying like, yeah, they have a program where you can like go there and like become a citizen, but you have to like be like actually living there and like, and you can become like a fucking Scandinavian citizen.
Honestly, some of the benefits and stuff that they have there, like I met these 3 girls from Norway while I was traveling, and we were just chatting, and I think they were doing like a gap year before they were going to go to university. Yeah. And we were just chatting and stuff, and they were like, I think one of them was planning to go to some university in the US or whatever it was. And I guess, and I didn't realize, but like in Norway, like they pay for the tuition of like, I know. If you go to like an international university, like you don't have to pay for it because the university for Norwegians is free.
It's free. I know. It's crazy.
So I was like, oh my God, like that's insane. I know. I don't know if that's still the case now. That was many years ago.
I think
it
is. I think it's still free. Yeah. Like they have like so many like random things. Like they have like just like a lot of like benefits, right?
Yeah. I mean, they pay a lot of tax.
They do.
But it kind of like goes hand in hand. But anyway.
Oh, for sure. Anyway,
guys. So
Norwegian women's beach handball team walked onto the court on Sunday to face its rival, Spain. The players chose not to wear the black bikini bottoms they usually pair with their sports bras. Is that what they normally wear?
Yeah, I think that they have to wear like bikinis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So instead, they wore these form-fitting blue athletic shorts, which look beautiful.
Yeah.
And apparently, so apparently they did this because they were wanting to send a message to the European Handball Federation. Women in sports should be permitted to wear uniforms that allow them to play their best. Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then many women on the team said the uniforms were not ideal for a sport that requires twists, turns, and other athletic movements on the sand. So they wore it because it was better for
their... Of course, because could you imagine, like, I mean, I don't often wear a bikini, but like, could you imagine like trying to play sports in a bikini? You'd be worried about like things falling out.
True. It's like very, it's like a small piece of fabric.
Exactly. It's very revealing. It doesn't give lots for, any kind of wrong move, and you could be completely exposed.
I know.
So,
and there are going to be cameras there.
100%. The events are filmed.
Yeah.
So I think that being said, I think that they're well within their right to be able to wear something that's a little bit more covering and is still part of like, athletic wear.
What the fuck do the men wear?
I don't actually know.
Do they wear fucking bikini bottoms?
That's a good question. Maybe they wear speedies.
Speedos?
Maybe the men have to wear speedos. I don't know. Again, because like, could you imagine trying to play beach volleyball or whatever, beach handball in a speedo? Something could just
Let me see what men wear. How do I search this? Men's beach handball team Europe. Why are the men wearing so many clothes? Yeah, the men are fucking covered up, bitch.
Yeah, the men are wearing shorts and muscle shirts. So
okay, this is like sexist.
Yeah.
Men are literally wearing like a jersey shirt.
Yeah.
Is that a jersey shirt? And like shorts.
Yeah.
And then women are wearing like bikinis, basically. Anyways, okay, continue.
Okay. So the federation will support the team's right to highlight the gender differences, blah, 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 blah. And then, nevertheless, on Monday, the disciplinary commission of the larger European Handball Federation ordered the team to pay a fine of 1,500 euros for wearing improper clothing.
I'm actually shocked.
I know, because the thing is, guys, I would understand a fine if they showed up in like ridiculous costumes or like, do you know what I mean? If they actually were doing things where you're like, okay, maybe you wore some kind of fabric or I don't know a certain thing that you're not like technically supposed to, but like with this it's like they just wore really super tight, so still like form-fitting shorts just so that they're covered up, you know what I mean? Like, and I think there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm actually kind of shocked that this is happening. Like,
exactly. And when you see what the men are wearing, you can tell that there's a lot of leeway for them to be wearing more clothing because the men are still competing and they're able to be covered up completely.
Like, is this a story from 1950? It says, according to the International Handball Federation's handbook, female athletes must wear bikini bottoms with a close fit and cut on an upward angle toward the bottom of the leg.
Top of the leg.
Toward the top of the leg. The side width must be a maximum of 10 centimeters or about 3.9 inches.
So the side width is like this part,
Why
right?
do they, like, is this made up of, is the International Handball Federation made up of 80-year-old men that are deciding this? Ew. And then
the same handbook instructs men handball players must wear longer shorts that are not too baggy and 10 centimeters above the kneecap.
Wait, so they must wear longer shorts?
Yeah.
So why do men have to like cover up and then women have to wear like literally nothing?
It makes no
sense. The photo actually just like speaks volumes because
huge.
If you compare the men's uniform to women's, like it's literally like the man is like completely covered up pretty much. And then the woman is like wearing nothing.
It's just, yeah, it's just so bad. Like
I'm really shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, is this becoming like really big news?
I think it's like pretty, like, I think people are like, there's definitely the federation's getting backlash and people are saying the same thing. Like, are we in the 1950s? And some people are like, oh, like it's probably because they get lots of spectators for the sport.
That's fucked up. That's
I
disgusting.
know.
That's literally disgusting.
I know.
Ew. Are people watching this because of like some sort of sexual thing?
Maybe. I mean, you have literally like girls in like bikinis running around playing sports. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm literally in shock.
Yeah, it's guys. This is like
sports is actually like fucking toxic. I realized.
This is the thing.
Like every story we covered regarding sports, it's like fucking toxic.
I know.
What was the other thing we talked about the other day? It was like.
It was about that runner.
Yeah, how she got like banned from Olympics because she smoked a little pot or something.
Yeah, because she had tested positive.
Like, who is making these rules? Like fucking 80-year-olds?
I feel like, yeah, it's really crazy. And then there's been all this like yeah, just craziness. And then there was another story actually.
Oh God, is this gonna piss me off too?
Yeah. So she got told her shorts were too short. So this was a sprinter.
I
guess double Paralympic. I don't know what half these words mean. Even Paralympic. I'm not sure what that
What's
means.
Paralympic?
I'll Google this. Olivia Breen said she left speechless and outraged after being told that her competitive briefs were too short and inappropriate.
I'm like, seriously, I am so shocked.
I am wearing the same sprint style briefs for many years, and they are specifically designed for competing in. I will hopefully be wearing them in Tokyo. It made me question whether a male competitor would be similarly criticized.
That's the thing. It's like, I feel like they wouldn't be.
No. Well, like, I mean, the men, like handball players, they don't have to wear Speedos. They wear shorts that have to be 10 inches above the knee or 10 centimeters or whatever it was. And they wear like a shirt. They don't even have to be shirtless and stuff to play.
Know.
Like,
so Paralympics is when like people have like disabilities.
Okay.
So it's like the disability, people with disabilities Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't know what her disability is.
So those were her running shorts that she wore.
And did she get like fined?
No, I don't think she got fined. I think she just got commented or somebody had mentioned that her shorts were like...
People, calm the fuck down.
I know.
Let people wear whatever. Like, I don't... How is this news?
I know. I mean, I think they have to like, in some way, like obviously, like
obviously they can't be naked.
Exactly.
Okay?
You can't just like be running around. Like there has to be some, like maybe some guidelines. But at the same time, like I feel like the rigidness and the craziness of these like comments and stuff, I'm just like, what the actual fuck? Like honestly... Like,
so this person has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just like,
God, sports people,
and
fucking loosen up.
And you're right. Like, look at how many stories the sports stuff are about women's attire.
No kidding.
Like,
where's the story about men's attire, bitches?
God damn.
Oh God, there's more shit.
This one is also about the there's like so many Olympic stories.
Today is the sports edition.
So basically, and I kind of was like speculating about this. I was like thinking about this the other day with the Olympics being held in Tokyo, which is a super densely packed city in Japan.
Very much.
And basically there's been, I guess, increased cases of COVID-19 in Japan and in Tokyo. And basically people are concerned and they're wondering what is going to happen and if the games should be postponed or... Well,
is it happening right now?
I think they're...
I literally don't know anything. So it says COVID-19 cases among Olympic delegates are on the rise and roughly 15% of those staying on site are unvaccinated, prompting warnings from medical experts about potential ripple effects if the world's largest sporting event doesn't clamp down on virus transmission. I'm kind of shocked that they would allow... people that are unvaccinated.
I know that seems like a weird thing. Like that doesn't seem right. When was this article?
Well, there was also a lot of it was from today.
Yeah. There
was also a lot of, talk before the Olympics because people were saying that don't have the Olympics.
Exactly. Because the Olympics, it was funny because when I was watching that pandemic, whatever, they talked about how I think it was the SARS virus or whatever, how that had spread and how quickly it was like spread around the world. And they said really when it took off was when it went from China to Hong Kong. Because what had happened was somebody went from China to Hong Kong, stayed in a hotel.
And it went through the pipes or some shit.
And then it went through the pipes and everybody in this hotel, all, of course, the international travelers, then went like this all across the world and it exploded, right? They were like, oh my God. And if you think about what an Olympic game represents, it is like literally the epitome of like how to spread a virus quickly. Because you literally have not every single country, but like so many countries, a lot of countries competing in a confined space, interacting with each other. And then once the games are done, they all go back to their countries. So like, it's like,
I'm sure they get tested at this point, right?
Well, I would hope so. Like, I would really hope so. But like, I don't know what the plans are for the Olympics. I don't know if they have like rapid testing on site or...
Well, clearly I don't know if they do.
It sounds like... Yeah. It sounds like they have a large percentage, 15, that isn't even vaccinated. Right. So...
And I heard that Japan was like not as good as other, like, for example, Asian countries when it comes to dealing with the virus. So it's another little concern.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know the,
ins and outs,
but I mean... We fucked? We fucked?
So apparently, vaccination is not required to participate.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Like, I think that should just be mandatory. Like
that's literally insane.
It should be like, if you want to compete in the Olympics, you have to do this.
But maybe it's because to play
devil's advocate,
it could be because there are certain countries, like unless Japan is willing to, provide the vaccinations, there are lots of countries that don't have vaccinations.
That's
as
true.
much as, for example, Canada and US and the UK.
That's very true.
So it wouldn't be fair, I guess, for certain countries.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But at the same time, are they testing what's happening,
Yeah. And I feel like also, I mean, to your point though, Rose, there's countries that are definitely farther behind with vaccinations and don't have as much vaccinations. But I do feel like if they have an Olympic team competing, they would have enough like vaccines to at least vaccinate the team, you would think.
I don't know, Daniel.
But maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
People are holding the vaccines like
That's
tight.
true. That's true.
And look at even Japan, 20% of the country is fully vaccinated.
That's true.
That's pretty small.
That's low.
Yeah. And even in Korea, I heard that like they just started vaccinating 50 years and older.
Well,
so
this is like South Africa as well. Like they're like a lot further behind. Because like for us, it's like weird because, obviously here, well, not obviously, but in Calgary, things have just like, it's like back to normal.
It's back to normal.
Like,
but that's because we have North American privilege.
This is
or like, what are these like? Is it called OECD? No, but these are like OECD
Western
countries.
privilege?
Yeah, Western country privilege.
Yeah.
Totally. We do.
Oh, God damn.
There's so many countries like they don't have vaccines.
Yeah, this is true. And they were saying like, yeah, a lot of countries are like.
Isn't Australia like kind of back into lockdown or something?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So,
can we talk about that?
So apparently, yeah. So one of my friends actually, because I have a couple of friends in Australia that are right now. And one of my friends was like messaged me. They just got on a massive road trip and they came back and they were like, yeah, we're back in Sydney for another 3-week lockdown or something. And they kept posting like these memes because they were like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but they were like, UK got like 50,000 cases in a day or something and opened up the next day, like opened up restrictions. Australia got like 50 cases and like locked everything down.
Wait a second. Like, you mean like right now?
I don't know how many they have right now, but let's just take a look here.
So UK, are they fully open?
I think so.
But to be fair, with Australia, the reason why they were so successful the first time around is because they did a really strict lockdown in the very beginning when no other country was doing such a strict lockdown. Yeah. And they really reduced the number.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
To the point. Yeah.
So that's Australia. Like that's probably when they went into lockdown.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, they had like barely any cases.
Yeah.
And then the last little while, it's kind of spiked up to...
Oh, it's like nothing.
I know. It's like it's kind of started going up. And now, I guess, as of July 18th, they had 117 new cases.
Okay, so the worst that they've had, this is insane. The worst that they've had is around like, I think from what I can see, about 715 new cases in a day. Yeah. Which is like kind of a joke compared to what we had, for example.
Our province had more than that.
Oh, like huge, so much more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like maybe that's why they're locking down, because they know that the lockdown thing works.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
But then I wonder, like, again, like to your point, like how many people there, like, are they up there in the vaccinations? Like,
I don't think they are.
That must be why
they're locking down.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. They're way further. I think they're more behind.
Okay.
us.
So fully vaccinated around 11% and at least one dose around 28.8%. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to
up that probably. Yeah. But when you compare it to I think ours, like just our province, we have 75% that have had one dose.
Oh, okay.
And I think fully vaccinated is like well over 50 now.
Right.
So that just kind of shows
that's
it there.
Crazy.
It's insane. Like it's just,
I'm just like amused by the fact that they're doing like a full lockdown when there's like less than 100 cases.
Yeah. And then other countries, I know other countries are like, let's open everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, when is this going to be like fully, is this ever going to be fully over?
I don't think it is. Like because again, like so many other countries, and like we've discussed before, because we're so global. So if other countries have different variants and they bring it here and it's going to be, but again, I feel like because we have that first vaccination and we're fully vaccinated. Yeah. As long as we get that like topped up each year, that's probably what we're going to have to do. I feel like it's going to become more like a flu, but again, what the fuck do I know?
Exactly. That's so hard to say. You know what I mean? It's just, we don't know.
I mean, it could mutate into something, even
more deadly.
But I don't know I feel like that's less likely because like what they say is usually the virus, as it mutates, it like grows in numbers and it becomes like less deadly, right? Kind of like the flu.
I don't know, Rose.
I don't know.
God damn.
I've said a lot of things throughout this pandemic that if I look back now, I'd probably cringe.
You'd be like, oh God. Yeah. I think we all have though. Like it's the unknown, right? Like we're just kind of like going off of like our, not intuition, but like what we're being fed through.
Because I remember like in the very beginning when it was happening in like the, Italy. No, when it started happening in like Asia and stuff. Yeah. Everyone here was like, oh, it's like kind of like the flu. Like everyone was saying that. And then it started spreading in Italy. Yeah. And then Italians were like, dude, this is not the fucking flu.
Yeah.
And then everyone started freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole fucking thing.
But I also think maybe people were like less, not less concerned, but you remember when we had like SARS? Like the thing with SARS, because again, this was in that little pandemic snippet.
Yeah.
But the thing with SARS is like, it was really deadly, and like a lot of people got sick, and you know, it started spreading around the world, but it like randomly like kind of went away. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they ever like, it never became so widespread like coronavirus.
But isn't that because SARS had a higher death rate? So people got sick much faster? Potentially. Isn't that what they said in the...
No, I don't remember. I don't remember the exact...
You just watched it, Daniel.
Well, you know, I was also...
Your memories... Were you a bit intoxicated?
I might have been having my...
Were you a bit stoned?
Yeah.
Damn, Daniel. Let me just look. Let's see. Let's compare the SARS to COVID-19. Why are we talking about this again? It's so depressing.
It is depressing, guys.
Let's see. Okay, so it says SARS is another type of coronavirus that came out of China, spread quickly through respiratory droplets.
Death rate was
higher. We don't know how much, though. What was the death rate? Let's see here. 15% mortality rate.
Oh, okay.
That's
huge.
significantly higher. Yeah, significantly. So, yeah. So
that's probably why it didn't spread as fast as well.
I think so.
But anyway.
Yeah. I guess you get sicker faster maybe as well. Because like with COVID, it's like you have that 2-week period where you could like have it and then spread it.
Yes.
Whereas like with SARS, maybe you get sick right away. So you don't actually get a chance to spread it as much as like COVID. Yeah. Right?
I think it hits you pretty fast. Yeah. But I did notice like some people would like, I remember they were saying like some people from Hong Kong would like fly to another city. Right. And they would like during the flight, they'd start feeling sick. And then they get to the other city and like go straight to the hospital.
Right.
Because they would, by then they were like super sick. Right.
But imagine if this one was like 14%.
Then
that's fucking scary.
I think then that I would have been a lot more scared.
Yeah.
Like I think,
but it also wouldn't have spread as fast.
Well, exactly. But if the death rate was like, if the death rate's higher than like 10%, it starts to get really scary because then it's like literally 1 in 10 people.
God damn.
Be dying.
Did you watch that movie? It's called like.
Great, Rose. I definitely saw
Pandemic or something.
I haven't seen it. No.
It's like the one with like Kate Winslet. There's like a bunch of famous people in it.
Yeah.
Is it called Pandemic? Hold on. Contagion.
Oh no, I never saw it.
I watched that and like.
Were you triggered?
Oh, I watched it when it was like literally the worst time in the pandemic.
Oh God.
Or like in the beginning of the pandemic when everyone was so scared.
Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure it came up on my Netflix recommendations during the pandemic. Thank you, Netflix.
That's because everyone was like, I feel like we're just like masochists or like we just like love to be like tortured in a weird way. Like
so we like freaked out and we're like, oh God, we have to like.
Yeah, we like love the bad news. We like have to like watch this movie that's gonna be fucking triggering. It was fucking triggering.
God, I would feel.
Oh God, that'd be a yawn and a half.
I'm sorry, Rose. I'd be tired. I'd be a little tired today.
You had a long day.
Been a busy day, guys.
Long day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, oh my gosh.
Yeah, craziness.
Well, we got a little trip planned.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
We're going to Toronto, guys, in literally 2 days. Are we prepared?
I am not prepared at all.
Like we're not prepared.
Like literally, we're trying to like figure out like we were like deciding on places to eat and like trying to figure out our schedule. It is going to be full on.
I know.
Like no rest for the wicked.
Oh God damn, Daniel. I need a vacation from the vacation.
But it'll be so nice. And like our hotel has a pool so we can go swimming.
I know, but the weather, I hope the weather's nice.
I know. Well, I think it's changed. It was because it was supposed to like rain the entire time we were there and it was like supposed to be sunny in Calgary. So
I know,
I was like,
I would have been so mad.
But I'm pretty sure because like our weather, other than the smoke here, has been so good.
I know, there's so much smoke. Oh my God, wildfires. Can we talk about that for a second?
It's changed a little bit.
Okay, it's gotten a little better. Mm-hmm. Okay. A little
so
hope.
It's still supposed to rain a little bit on the weekend, but it looks like we have some nice days. So that's exciting.
It's very exciting, but also the world's coming to an end because of climate change.
Oh God. Do you know that actually one last story that I wanted to talk about, but it links
Is it in Europe?
Yes.
The floods.
Oh my God.
When I saw this, I was like, oh, like we're actually like at the, like this is the point of no return.
Yeah. So it's actually like really crazy. And I can't remember if I read this in this article or like I saw this somewhere.
Read the title, Daniel.
As floods hit Western Europe, scientists say climate change hikes heavy rain.
Yeah. And they've been talking about that. Like, they've been saying this is like one of the like biggest symptoms of climate change.
Yeah. For a number of reasons. And some people will be like, well, why is that the case? You know, why is that the case? And part of the reason that climate change can lead to like these flooding events, from what I understood, is like if you have like an area which, for example, it gets like a drought or like gets a really hot like period of time, the ground gets really, really dry and like just really dry. And then when it does rain, the ground that's like super, super dry is not as good at absorbing water.
Oh.
So then it can create like flood kind of like events.
But that's for flooding, but also like heavy rain as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. They're saying that what's happening is like rain that typically a location like would maybe be over a month. Places are getting in like a much shorter period of time.
Right. Yeah. So that's another weird thing that's happening.
Yeah.
It says, since rainfall began, water has burst riverbanks and cascaded through communities, toppling telephone towers and tearing down homes along its path.
Yeah.
At least 157 people have been killed.
Yeah.
And hundreds more were missing as of Saturday. This is fucking depressing.
It's just crazy. And so it's hit like Germany, Belgium, right. I think in parts of France, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy.
That is literally insane.
And part of the reason, so here's what they're saying on here as well. In general, rising global, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah. Warmer air apparently holds more moisture, which means more water will be released eventually.
Oh,
God damn.
Interesting. More than 15 centimeters, 6 inches of rain soaked the German city of Cologne on Tuesday and Wednesday. 6 inches is like a sub.
Yeah.
A Subway sub.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are 6 inches, Rose.
Can you stop? Oh my God, but seriously.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. It says a 1 degree rise in average global temperature increases the atmospheric capacity to hold water by 7%. So climate scientists have said that raises the chance of heavy rainfall events. So that's why we get more rainfall, because of the rise in the temperature, which holds more water in the atmosphere. Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you have areas that's been really dry, the ground is not as good as absorbing the water. So you're going to have more, like if there's heavy rainfall, like for example, if we went through a period of like 3 weeks of the super heat, and then all of a sudden had like a torrential downpour, the ground wouldn't soak up the water as it normally does. It would just be like kind of like slowly soak it, but it was like so it would cause
also
issues.
Like in places like where we live, we're not used to such heavy rain, so our infrastructure is just not built in that way, so it would also be a potential threat. Like we've had a flood, like a few years ago we had a huge flood, which is not normal.
No,
like our city used to be dry as fuck. Like there were actually problems because it was so dry. And now it rains a lot more just randomly as well, and the weather's just changed for sure.
Oh, 100%. They were saying other factors obviously include local geography and air pressure systems, which also determine how specific areas are affected. And as these change, as like air currents, because it's all interlinked, right? We're in like a bubble, basically. Like the earth is just a big bubble. Yeah. So if like little things are changing, like if the current's changing, if the airflow and everything, it's just going to cause different things to happen. And I think this year, the thing is this year is like we're starting to see more and more impacts everywhere.
I feel like things are happening. Like it's like it was like little things were happening, or maybe it's just we're more aware. Who knows?
Because they're happening more in our areas though too.
Yeah, but now it's like it feels like everything is like one after the other. There's more wildfires. The wildfires are like, like we have the smoke coming from BC. Like we're in Alberta, which is the province next to BC. And there's all these wildfires, which have increased dramatically as well. That's coming into Alberta. And also this year alone, all of the hot, like the hot weather as well. Yeah. Like the 49 degrees in Canada. Are you fucking me?
I know. It's because they said that was partly there was a weird air pressure system that created this heat dome that just like sat over top of certain areas.
Daniel, I need a funny story to end this with, because I be sad and scared.
Oh God damn! I don't know what.
Tell me a funny story. Tell me the time that you got drunk.
So
I need to forget, and we should tell a funny story, Daniel. Your cop story, Halloween. Do it.
Oh God, no one needs to know the cop story from Halloween. Oh my God, Rose, why did you bring this up?
Well, now you have to tell it.
Okay, I'll tell it, guys. So basically, one year for Halloween, I decided to dress as a police officer.
A sexy police officer.
And it was funny because like at my job, we also dressed up. And I remember like this group of like older ladies had come in. This was back when I was like young and, attractive. This group of ladies
still young and attractive.
Oh, thank you. And they were like, what are you supposed to be, like a stripper or something? And I was like, no, I'm a police officer. Anyway, that's a side story. So
you wanted to start the story off on the right foot.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
Continue.
So then go out with a group of friends. We decide to pre-drink before we go to this big event at the BMO Center, which we all had tickets for and whatever else. And we're pre-drinking. And I decided to like try to keep up with people. And I should just know that like, I'm just not a good drinker in a sense that like, I cannot handle my alcohol at all. So I should not be doing shots with people that can handle their alcohol. So anyway, doing shots. And then basically remember waking up at my bed and I was like, oh my God, what the heck happened? So I called my friend that I had gone with to this party.
Completely blacked out.
Yeah, completely. So I called my friend and I was like, I'm really sorry that, about last night. I don't really remember what happened. Hopefully we had fun at the party. And she was like, yeah, you didn't go to the party. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, apparently I was like so drunk and we were in line and all of my friends were like, Daniel, sober up, act sober. And at that point I was like, I was blacked out. I had no idea what was going on. And these two real police officers were carrying another drunk person out of the club, out of the event or whatever. And I don't even know exactly what happened, but I was like, maybe like I said to them, like, do you guys need some, like joking around, like, do you guys need some help? Because I was like a police officer as well. And basically they turned to one of my friends and were like, if he's here when we're back, we're taking him as well. Basically,
to the drunk tank. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So at that point, my friends like, hey, they lived across from the BMO Center and they were like, hey, we're going to take you back to my house. We're going to give you some coffee, some food. Hopefully you sober the fuck up.
Yeah. You didn't.
That didn't.
You
that
passed
didn't
out.
I just passed out on the couch, and then they're like, "We're just gonna leave him here."
And then didn't you show up, or was that a different time?
No.
Okay, guys.
No, that never happened.
What was the time where you showed up with the $20 bill and you tried to bribe your way in?
Oh, I mean, I didn't want to tell that part of the story, Rose. Okay, I tried to leave that part out because it's so fucking embarrassing.
You have to tell the entire story.
So guys, also that night, which I never ever do this,
and also
ever.
You were very drunk, and so you don't remember this, which means it pretty much never happened. Continue.
Yeah, but part of it is like, and I don't like the idea of like trying to bribe to get in. I think it's so like, stupid. But anyway,
I feel like people do it.
Oh, 100% people do. So anyway. Before the police came out with that other guy, the bouncer was like initially saying that I was too drunk to get in and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, how does this, I went to go give him $20 and I was like, am I too drunk now? And he was like, yes.
You're probably like, am I too drunk now?
I was like, oh, am I too drunk now? And then he was like, yes, you need to go. And then the police officer came out and I was like, yeah. And then they were like,
that is so funny.
So that's, this is why I don't drink anymore. Because bad things happen.
Okay, Daniel. Let's see what happens in Toronto.
Oh yeah, Toronto's gonna be an adventure. Guys, I might even do a little bit of Tindering while I'm in Toronto. God
damn, Daniel, you gonna bring some people over to
our
Airbnb?
No, I would never do that.
Are we gonna have a Montreal 2.0?
Rose, no, we're not gonna have a Montreal 2.0 experience.
Anyway. Okay, guys. Well, we gotta run.
Yeah, we have to go. Oh my God, it's already almost 9 o'clock.
I know, I got shit to do.
All right.
Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that final story. Hope that cheered everyone up a little bit from the darkness that is our world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to report such sad news, but also like we need to have people knowing about this. So
exactly, I think this is going to be the catalyst that is going to start really pushing, because they even said with these flooding, like it's going to wake like Europe up in a sense, like not that Europe was doing bad anyway, but it's going to like wake up a lot of people to be like, hey, this is real. You know what I mean?
Though? I mean, hopefully fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely fingers crossed. As always, guys, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, don't forget to hit that follow button. You'll get updated as soon as new episodes come out. If you are watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. Show us some love in the comments section. Hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And don't forget to check out our Patreon if you guys want some exclusive content at patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast.
Great job, Daniel. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.